Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about all the books that I read last week. So, the week before, I had read 0 middle grade, and my kids and I hadn't finished anything. And so this week, we kind of rectified that. We've got 7 middle grade to talk about and 5 adults. So, let's just get into it. It was a busy week of reading because we went to the library, and there's so many fall covers and things. My daughter was really just wanting some graphic novels. So, we went, and it's been a while since I've read some graphic novels, and she wanted me to pre-read some for her. So let's talk about the middle grade, and then I will have a timestamp down below of when I start talking about the adult books if you only want to hear about that. But the first one I read is Lost and Found. This is by Mei Yu. And so this is about a girl who is immigrating from China to Canada, and she's really, really excited about it, and everything's great. Then she gets there and she realizes it's kind of scary to be in a country where you don't know anybody, you can't speak the language, all the things are just really, really hard. And so she has to figure out how to kind of fit in, how to figure out the language. She just gets put in like an English speaking school, and so she really has to figure things out. This is a really quick read. I think it's a great book for teaching empathy for young kids. So yeah, overall this was a pretty good read. Then we've got another graphic novel, Frankies World, by Aoife Dooley, and this one is truthfully not very memorable. The art style is all orange and blue, which is kind of interesting, but this is about a girl who doesn't really fit in. She gets bullied a lot at school. Her only friend is another girl who has, she's in a wheelchair, has some other disabilities, and Frankie her brain works differently. She doesn't know her dad. She's being raised by her mom. And then at the end, she kind of figures out a diagnosis that makes everything click. This has great autism rep. And again, good for teaching empathy. A little bit brave, sometimes bold, totally me. And she really comes into herself. So this is a nice coming of age graphic novel. Then we have a book that I said I was not going to read, Shirley and Jamila's Big Fall. So Shirley and Jamila, this is number 2 in a graphic novel series, but you could read them out of order. It's not a big deal. Really, the cover got me, and I thought, I didn't love the first one, but I'm going to pick up the second one. I regret it because this is like maybe a 3-star. This is about 2 girls who are kind of unlikely friends. You see them meet in the first one, and it takes place during summer. And then this one, they're basically trying to stop a bully from exploiting somebody. He's got some dirt on somebody. Shirley is like Miss Detective. She gets kind of hired to get this information back from this boy. And so, they're doing that. There's some conversation around their friendship because they are like not really friends at school. And I think it's actually Jamila, she gets a new friend, and she's like, why are you friends with her? And so there's some of that, trying to figure that out, very middle schooly, there's that. Then I read 2 of the cutest things that I've been wanting to read, and now that it's October, Garlic and the Vampire and Garlic and the Witch. So these are by Paulson, and these are really cute graphic novels about a little garlic clove. And in this one, she goes and she is like nominated by all the veggies that she is friends with and stuff to go to this castle because apparently there's a new vampire living there, and garlic wards off vampires. So she's the safest bet. She goes and realizes he's not scary like they thought. And then this one, Garlic starts to undergo a change to become human, and she's not sure how she feels about that. And so it's her relationship with the witch, who's kind of like the lead gardener. And they run gardens that are like not all magical vegetables and fruit, but there's a carrot, there's celery, and all of that are like magical. So it's really cute. I'm definitely going to pass this on to my daughter. It's not scary. It's just charming and cute. I love these. Then one more graphic novel. We have El Defo. This is one that has, I've just heard a lot of great things about it. I don't know if it won the Newbery or not. Probably not. I don't know. But this is about a little girl who, I think when she's like 5, she gets meningitis. And this is autobiographical. And she loses her hearing. And so she has to wear this big hearing device on her at all times to be able to hear. And it kind of gives her super hearing, where her teacher wears a microphone that is connected to her device. And so then her teacher doesn't turn it off when she leaves the room, so she can hear everything. And she just really, it's again a coming of age, coming into her disability and kind of owning it and finding a superhero identity within it. Like, I think if you have a hearing impaired child, this would be really cool. And again, it's just a good thing for empathy. I will say it follows her from age 5 up to like middle school. And so there's talks of crushes and like boy-girl relationships. Not something like, it's not super inappropriate by any means, but also I don't know that my 6-year-old is quite ready for this yet, but yeah, there's that. And then I read one middle grade that's not a graphic novel, and this is the Win Kids, The Secret of the Jade Bangle. And this is a series about 3 or 4, well, I'm guessing 3 based on the cover, siblings, and they're kind of trying to juggle I can't remember if she's Vietnamese or what, their Asian culture with their more like American culture. And in this one, our main character gets a jade bangle from her grandmother who has died, and it's a magic jade bangle. When she puts it on, she can see her grandmother. Her grandmother teaches her to cook, everything. I think this would be a really fun one to read with my kids because it's got a great discussion of different cultures, different beliefs, all of that kind of stuff. I don't know that I'm going to hand it to her to read independently just because obviously it's a different culture that believes things a little bit different than we do as far as how we treat the dead and spirits and all that kind of stuff. But I think it would be a great thing to read together. So that is all of my middle grade. Now let's get into the adult. So I had a DNF and a 5-star reread. So let's talk. So first we've got Wishy Well by David Baldacci. So David Baldacci typically writes thrillers. He has also written some like romance kind of things. And this, I saw some reviewers saying this is like his attempt to write like a literary masterpiece, like a To Kill a Mockingbird-esque book. And he failed horribly, in my opinion. This is a 2-star book for me. This is about 2 kids who go to live with their great-grandmother and their mother, who is in a coma after the mom and dad are in an accident. Dad dies, mom's in a coma, and they go to live with the great aunt from New York City into the Virginia mountains or whatever. And it's their friendships, their relationships, their mother. They're kind of taking care of their mother. The ending of this is so eye-rolly, and like the journey was just so boring. I give this 2 stars. Highly would not recommend, but I'm not turned off from David Baldacci because I've read other of his stuff and liked it more. I just think maybe stay in your lane a little bit. So there's that. Then my DNF is the Strong Whe Child by James Dobson. So I actually listened to the new Strong Whe Child, which is more updated. But this is basically, he's, I think, one of the leaders of Focus on the Family. Founder and president of Focus on the Family. There we go. And it's a very conservative Christian lens, but also like just that parents are the ultimate authority, and it's a very authoritative authoritarian, I don't know, the one that's like very, very children should be seen, not heard, and my way or the highway kind of parenting, and I just really don't like it. I also felt it was really disrespectful. Like they full out make fun of and are disrespectful to more of the like gentle parenting movement. And I mean, I think there's no secret as to how I align with my parenting style, and I can tell you this was just not it for me. So yeah, I think there's definitely things like I would say, I don't know, I mean, the kids in this book were painted to be like really awful. I don't know. I would say I have a strong-willed child or two, but by this definition, I don't know that I do. But I don't know. There were little bits that I was like, oh, okay, this is relatable, but then it just lost me when it started being like disrespectful to any other parenting view. So this week has been personally in life, it has been a lot. We had an ECV, which is a procedure that tries to flip the baby because our baby is breech and I'm due in 2 weeks. And so we're trying to flip the baby, and we have tried everything, and we had an ECV and it failed. They were not able to flip baby. And so I've just been really in my head because we've got a couple weeks to either try again or try other things to flip the baby. And otherwise it'll be a scheduled C-section, and I really, really, really don't want that. So yeah, I've been in my head a lot, and the anxiety has been high. So I reread an old favorite, Anxious for Nothing by Max Lucado. So this follows like Philippians 4:4-9 ish, and it is just all about anxiety. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. So this has a lot of really great scriptures, really great reminders, really great examples of like Paul in the Bible and anxiety and how he dealt with that, and how other people in the Bible dealt with anxiety, and how many times God tells us not to be anxious. And yeah, just it's really kind of solidified my prayer. Like, I'm praying just for God's will to be clear, and for contentment in whatever happens with this birth experience and how things go. And so finding calm in a chaotic world, this is just one that I think this was my 4th or 5th time reading it. I listened to it on audio and read it this week. It's not a long book by any means. It is right around 200 pages, and at the end it has chapter by chapter the verses, and so I have some of them on my computer. I've got some of them everywhere just to remind me to let go and let God. So there's that. Then I read Before and Again by Barbara Delinsky. So I read this for the Cozy Cottage Readathon that Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day is putting on, and I am blogging that. I'm not reading the books like back to back, and so I don't know when you'll hear more of my thoughts on this, but this was a 2.5 star, would not recommend. Barbara Delinsky and I are very, very hit and miss. It's either a strong hit or a strong miss. I didn't like this one, but you will see why in that vlog whenever it comes out. And then the last one is another nonfiction that one of you guys recommended, To Hell with the Hustle, by Jefferson Bethke. And this is a Christian nonfiction about our hustle culture, basically. And I really liked this book. Some of the biggest takeaways for me are, one, he is like, I feel like there's like two camps in kind of self-help Christian fiction and things of like either make very specific SMART goals, you know, where they're smart, measurable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you've got these goals that you're trying to achieve. Or kind of this camp, which is more, don't make any goals. Instead, focus on that kind of 1% better, where you are just trying to be closer and closer to the person you want to be, and focus on are your behaviors and your routines and the general trend of what you're doing leading you towards who you want to be. And so I really like that idea, because I am very type A, very rigid by nature. And so goals can definitely lead you to like either shame for not doing it as much, or self-glorification for doing it, you know. And so I really like, these are my, like, I definitely want to be more on the side of like, let's think about just general behaviors and routines and all that kind of stuff. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is he talks about like how you would not ever multiple times a day be like, yes, take my money, take my assets, take my this, that, and the other. And yet we do that with our time. We give our time and attention to so much that is so not edifying, not really beneficial to us at all, like our phones, whatever it may be. And so just how much time we give away, where really that's the most powerful asset we have. We can't buy anymore. Like it's finite. And so just thinking about that, it's really interesting to think like how freely we give away our time and attention, and yet how stingy we are with other things. The other thing I thought was interesting, that just a good reminder of like, we are made to worship. And so if we don't worship God, we are worshiping something, whether that's ourselves, our cell phone, social media, our routine, our whatever it may be. And so just a reminder that like, it's okay to slow down and pause and be calm. And yeah, I don't know. It says reclaiming your life in an overworked, overspent, and overconnected world. And just how like in our culture, we don't have like a rite of passage into adulthood the way other cultures do. Instead, we hand people kids cell phones and car keys and say, try to connect, you know, and just observing the Sabbath is okay. It's all good and holy, and not buying into the hustle culture. So there's that. So that is everything that I read in this last week. It's been a great week. I'm hoping for another great week, but we'll see. We'll see when this baby decides to show up and how it all goes and what my reading does with it. So let me know if you've read any of these books or if there's anything that I really need to pick up this fall. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.